Sunday, Boxing Nation.
Dante's Boxing Nation, what's going on, guys? So I thought this was really interesting what Derek James did and what he said about the Errol Spence versus Crawford negotiations. Now, what's rather ironic is when Derek James, he did his interview with all of the media, including my new media guy, Skip. When Derek James was asked anything about Errol Spence versus Crawford, he said, look, man, that's not my department. I'm just a trainer. I just hold the mitts. All I do is train these fighters.
Was the Errol Spence, Errol Spence Jr. fight versus Crawford, is that falling apart? I mean, I said, is the Errol Spence versus Crawford fight, is that falling apart as far as negotiations?
I'm not in that part of it. I'm in the gym and working with the guys. That's not my part of business.
Did you get a chance to see the fight?
Huh?
Did you get a chance to see the fight, Crawford?
No.
Not even no highlights? None of that?
No. I didn't have, I'm not, I don't have the 39 or whatever it was. I don't have that in my pocket, so I didn't see it.
Is Terence, you feel like still firing? I mean, you didn't get a chance to see the fight, but still firing on all cylinders still?
I mean, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I don't know. I have no idea. You know what I'm saying? I can't say. Who knows?
So what's next for Errol Spence, man? What's next for Errol Spence?
Oh, I don't know, man. I have no idea. I'm in the gym, man. I'm not in that part of the business. I'm just a guy, like somebody said, I'm just a guy who holds the mitts, man. I'm not doing more than that. I'm not calling shots. I'm not calling opponents. I don't do that.
Now, shortly after he did this interview, he did an exclusive interview with Ellie Setback, and he actually went in deep. In fact, he gave more information than Errol Spence has given when it comes to the Crawford versus Errol Spence situation. Derek James said what Crawford wanted, he can't get now because now we know how much he's worth. He's talking about after Crawford's last fight against Avanesian. And he goes into even further detail than that.
I don't know. I just think that what he said he wanted, he can't say he wants now because now we know what he's really worth. You can't ask for 20, 30, 40, 50 million when you only make 600,000 pay-per-view buys. So I think that the only way, I don't think the perspective of himself will change. I think that he still is the guy, which he is the guy, he's very accomplished, probably most accomplished boxing, but that does not transfer into pay-per-view buys, that does not transfer into sell tickets anywhere outside of Nebraska. That's what you got to realize. I mean, am I saying that he's not a great fighter? No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that he's not. I mean, because I mean, I think you miss a spot to get something, and what you think you're getting is nothing. Because now the reality comes out, 15,000.
Okay, so Derek James is saying because the Crawford-Avanesian fight was not a big pay-per-view success, which we all knew wasn't going to be, that fight now determines what Crawford is actually worth going into negotiations against Errol Spence. Now, Spence, on the other hand, in his recent interviews, he's been sounding like he really still wants the Terence Crawford fight next. Terence Crawford, he constantly says that he hopes that they can make that fight next year. I'm hoping for the sake of this fight happening, it's not going to be based on some quick money grab that Crawford got that was really just a stay busy fight. I don't think anyone, including BLK and Crawford, expected that fight to do any type of serious pay-per-view buys. I think they just wanted to use Crawford's name to build their brand, just like DAZN, when they emerged, they used Anthony Joshua and Canelo's name to build their brand. It was somewhat of a slow investment. I mean, not too many people can say they made $10 million fighting against a complete nobody, at least someone who didn't have a name that anyone knew. So overall, if you just look at all of Terence Crawford's fights and the success of all of his fights, clearly he's worth something. I heard Errol Spence say in a couple interviews, he said, if Terence Crawford would have just been honest and he would have just told us, look, man, I'm about to go make this $10 million fighting against a nobody, and then I'm going to come back to the table and we're going to keep negotiating. He said if he would have did that, the fight could have happened. But what I don't understand is how come they couldn't continue to negotiate even while Terence Crawford was fighting against Avanesian, just like Gervonta Tank Davis did with Hector Garcia and Ryan Garcia. He has a fight set up with Hector Garcia, but the Ryan Garcia fight is still set. So I never understood, and I never understood why no reporter has even asked this question. How come they couldn't continue to negotiate while Terence Crawford still had his fight with Avanesian? Why did negotiations have to stop just because he had the Avanesian fight? Especially if the fight was already being pushed back till first quarter of next year or whatever. Now remember, Errol Spence, he said he plans on coming back, returning to the ring in May or June. So we'll see if that means he's going to jump right back into negotiations for a Crawford fight. That's all I got for now, guys. I'm on to the next one.
All right, now check this out, guys. If you're looking to repair eczema scars, burns and bruises, dark spots and blemishes,
Fever blisters, diabetic ulcers,
this right here is the perfect product for you guys. It's called LO Key Face and Body Oil. Athletes and top-ranking boxers, they're also using it after training to reduce swelling, inflammation, and to ease the pain. So get yours today. Go to LODkey.com.
like them on Facebook and follow them on Instagram.
Let me tell you guys about Issa Israel Law Firm. It is a full-service legal practice based in Denver, Colorado, an emerging hub for combat sports and high-altitude training. If you're a fighter inside or outside of the ring and you need a law firm you can trust to fight for you, visit thefighterfirm.com or email help@iilawfirm.com. Legal representation is usually limited to plaintiffs or defendants in Colorado, but iFirm can help anyone in the world with trademarking their business name, logos, and U.S. immigration issues. This brother has been my attorney for a while and helped guide me through all kinds of business and civil issues. So make sure you guys go to thefighterfirm.com.
My name is Chris, and I'm all the way here from Anchorage, Alaska at Scalp Carolinas, and I'm here for my second treatment of SMP. Well, I was sitting at home one day and going over my Facebook page, and they have different, like advertisements popping up, and I saw one for SMP. And I saw some pictures of some guys, a before and after, and I was looking at that, and it caught my attention. So I Googled it. SMP, nothing showed up in my area. So, I did a little more research, and all of a sudden, Scalp Carolinas popped up in the web browser. So I started watching his videos and seeing all the reaction from all the other people. We talked on the phone, we made appointments and everything. I sent him pictures, and he looked at them, and I was like, "Can you fix this?" And, he pretty much said, "No problem." My first session, he made me feel extremely comfortable. It was almost like I was talking to family. He started, and during the whole treatment, we talked and, about our families and our life and, and things that he does and things that I do. And before I know it, the first session was over. When you see someone doing something that they love, as much as I see Enoch Glover love what he does, it shows in his work. I wouldn't point anyone in any other direction but here to North Carolina, Scalp Carolinas, to get this done.